Why does this arcade stick rotate and why don't others do it? Well, imagine your favorite twin-stick shooter. Now imagine that you only have one analog stick. That's basically the premise of this, the Thunderstick GRS Super Joystick, a modern PC-compatible arcade stick. That's right, you don't just wiggle this stick left and right, you can actually spin it around the way the original arcade machines did in the 80s. Didn't know they did that? Neither did I, but now I do, and I think it's pretty darn cool. But what games can you actually play with this unusual arcade controller? Well, for the purposes of this video, I was sent one GRS Super Joystick, officially licensed by SNK, and also a copy of the 40th anniversary collection, which includes a number of games that actually work with it. I wasn't told to say anything specific about it, all opinions are my own, and I don't have to send it back after I'm done. Now, the main game this joystick is known for is Ikari Warriors, and I have to say, this game totally surprised me. When they asked if I would test the controller, I thought it would be just some primitive retro game with basic twin-stick shooter style mechanics, but having a controller like this is a bit of a transformative experience. I discovered game mechanics I didn't expect, and at the end of it, I kind of felt like this kind of control method could totally come back if arcade gaming was still a thing. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about what you actually get. For $80, you're sent all the parts you'd need to build an arcade stick with a rotary joystick lever and up to 12 push buttons. You don't have to go that far though, and if you don't have a giant DIY arcade cabinet project to build into, the packaging itself has been built to function as an actual basic arcade stick. I've always had an obsession with hoarding product packaging, and today, I finally feel vindicated. It's not some cheap excuse either. This box is genuinely designed to house the main parts properly, even going as far as to cut the buttonholes out with perforations. Personally, I actually kind of hate building things to instructions, so for me the experience was sort of wasted, but if you're buying this as a gift for someone, it's a zillion times more interesting than just buying them a regular arcade stick. This is more like buying someone a radio-controlled car that they piece together themselves. I may despise following instructions, but I have to admit, putting together the GRS Super Joystick was pretty cool. Even if you hate reading, every part of the installation has a QR code you can scan, which leads to YouTube videos which explain and demonstrate how to do it as quickly and painlessly as possible. Once complete though, the games are where the experience wows you again. Despite being told it would be plug and play for the 40th anniversary collection, I did find I had to remap a few buttons. But after that, there was really nothing left but to explore a generation of rotary joystick games I had no idea existed. I started with Ikari Warriors because that's the game art that's printed on the controller itself. I'd always known that it was an arcade game because I'd played King of Fighters, which has a team of 3 army soldiers called, drumroll please, the Ikari Warriors. What I didn't know was that the game is meant to be controlled with this rotary joystick, and I'm not gonna lie, it feels kinda awful at first. That's not because of the quality though. The quality of the arcade stick feels solid, so it's a joy to spin and wiggle it around. But Ikari Warriors is an unforgiving, classic, coin-guzzling arcade game. And compared to modern-day twin-stick shooters, I was frustrated by having to control my character's movement and shooting direction all with my left hand. But eventually it clicked, no pun intended, and I was hooked. This is exactly the sort of thing I like. Games with innovative control schemes that are brave enough to make the experience a little bit harder and a little more sophisticated in exchange for greater satisfaction when you do it correctly and pull off a tricky maneuver. On a natural high from my first experience, I searched for other rotary joystick games and decided to try out a little Ikari Warriors 2. I expected it to be more or less the same as the first game, but immediately you're handed a sword gun? Gun sword? Whatever it is, this weapon that allows you to shoot in multiple directions but also swing a sword as well. That alone kind of blew my mind because controlling movement and shooting angle with one hand was already cool enough, but adding sword swinging so you can deflect bullets like a Jedi? I don't remember them mentioning that in the email when they contacted me about making this video. Actually, in fairness, I didn't really read the email. As soon as I saw the product picture, I thought, okay, that looks cool, I just said yes. Anyway, here are a few of my favorite moments from when I was testing the arcade stick. If I twist the arcade stick like this, I have 1, 2, 3, 8 different angles. This game's hard. What is going on? Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of it now. Very cool that you can shoot sideways. I know that obviously that's very normal in this day and age. It's obviously not an optimal way to control. What the heck is this? This is completely different. What is the floating head about? Sword. What? What the heck? Yes! Oh, sick! One-handed gaming? Yeah. Oh, it didn't work. Accessibility features in... What year was this out? 1980? This has wildly changed it up for me. What is that? What the heck? Am I reflecting them? Oh, you actually can reflect them with the sword. What? That's the correct way to use the... Oh, I see. Okay, I'll shoot and sword at the same time. I scared him off the page. He's not even allowed on screen. I'm like, get out of here. I'm shooting and sorting at the same time. Yes. It's so much hard work. My left hand is not happy with this twisting motion. This is actually what I'm all about. Suboptimal ways to play games that make them more enjoyable, because ultimately it's not about the competition. Yes! Swipe your way to victory. No. Yo! I'm a Jedi? So it's baseball. It's a baseball shooting game. My hand is so tired. Because we have this cool joystick now, I would actually like to see more games take advantage of it. Listen, that is pretty much it for the GRS Super joystick. I think this thing is actually really cool, and it is fun that you get to build your own controller. I personally am not really into that hobby, so if you're really into like building Gundam kits or car model kits or plane kits, you're gonna love the aspect of building this yourself. Basically, as long as you've got a screwdriver, you should be able to put this thing together. But it is really cool, especially as a gift. The novelty of giving this to someone and saying, hey, you can play some classic old games, build the controller yourself, and honestly speaking, this is how the games were meant to be played, and they're a lot of fun playing them this way. I think specifically if I were to make it better, I would actually not use the built-in box. I'd get myself a heavier case, actually drill some proper holes in a wooden case or something, give it some weight, give it some non-slip padding so that I can actually enjoy this more. I think with the default box that it ships with, it's just not heavy enough and there's no non-slip padding, and so it does slide around, so you end up resting your palms on the controller to prevent it from moving around, and that's why you get a little bit of pain in your wrist. But I think if you put some heavy weights inside this box, you put some non-slip padding on the back of it, then I think that would be solved completely. They've obviously thought of everything. You've got tons of buttons. You've even got a harness that could actually install up to, I think, like 6 more buttons, I think, for start, select, and whatever other things you needed. You even get these extra joysticks, so you can have 8, 12, or I think 16 different clicks if you want more precision, even though it doesn't really change how it actually works in the game. The way that you interact with it, it means that you can actually just make smaller motions with your hand, as opposed to the version that I've got right now, which it requires quite a lot of twisting. Nothing else to say apart from I'm glad that novelty things like this do exist. Listen, that's pretty much it for the T-Sticks GRS Super joystick. It seems to be a reasonable price. It does come with a large number of accessories. It's very versatile, and it's going to be a lot of fun, especially for people who like a bit of DIY. They want to add a little value, not just get a controller. It's like, okay, the game was a little more fun now. It's like it's a project, and it gets you dedicated and more on board with the whole idea of the retro game that you're getting into. I don't know. I think it really does get you motivated to enjoy it more, which is important. I think that's something that a lot of games and controllers are missing these days. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, leave a comment below, and check out this video next if you love arcade sticks and you want to see what else is out there. That's all for now. I've been NihongoGamer. I'll see you real soon.